From the producer of There's Layers to This comes a new spin-off, Layers with V Dizzle, a solo series diving into the coolest corners of the internet. We're exploring breakthrough tech, digital art, pop culture, space innovation, and more. Streaming live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Valerie, aka V Dizzle. This is another episode of Layers with V Dizzle, Season 1, Episode 7. Welcome back if you are coming back, and welcome if you are newer here. I'm going to be joined by our special guest co-host, Keegan. So let's bring him up to the stage. Keegan, you there?
Hi, I'm here. How's it going?
It's going good. It's taken a while to put on the production. You know, things are a little different for today's episode. Those of you who are returning are probably familiar with my lasagna background, but I've got a little bit of a background today. But yeah, other than that, I'm good. How are you feeling today?
Excited. I feel like there's some good stuff to talk about. You know, we did a lot of stuff over the past few days, and there's still a few more things to do today and the next few days. And yeah, just trying to have a pretty good week before I go back to my regular work schedule for the fall next week. So this is actually my last Tuesday with you and everybody in the audience.
I know it's your last Tuesday with me, but hopefully we can have you on as a special guest throughout the seasons. But it's been great to have you the past 7 episodes. Thank you so much for helping me kick off the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Always good to get repetitions and, you know, don't get too rusty on screen.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you're new here, I'll tell you guys a little bit about the show. The show talks about everything from Web3 to art to space tech and blockchain and sometimes pop culture. So we talk a little bit of everything, but try to give you the biggest headlines in the most digestible, easy, and fun way. So if you have family, friends, a neighbor, someone that just, you know, that needs a little bit more education on technology and the Web3 space, I definitely recommend you go and share out this link. We are streaming on YouTube, on X, and on a blockchain live streaming platform called Abstract. So shout out to everyone who's tuned in. But a little bit about me. I started in the Web3 space back in May of 2021 through Gary V and his his NFT project called V Friends. Keegan was actually the one who told me to look into it. I was a master's student going through a sports medicine program doing surgery and rehabilitation at the time. And so being a full-time student, I could not afford crypto. Gary V was recommending to buy some Ethereum, which at that time in April and May of 2021 was around $4,000. So as a student, I was like, I don't think this is for me. But Keegan was like, don't worry, Gary's going to be doing some giveaways, so just stay up to date with him. So I resurrected my Twitter. I learned about how to use Discord, and I ended up entering into a giveaway that Gary did. And I won. And so my very first NFT was gifted to me directly from Gary in my digital wallet. And incredible, I had bid offers of a minimum of $140,000 that I could have just cashed out, which sadly I didn't because I knew nothing about the space. I just saw all of the hype and I thought that was normal. I thought everything just goes up, up, and up. But of course, there's that saying, what goes up must come down. So I did not know. And it's all good, though, because throughout my journey, I ended up meeting some incredible people and friends in the Web3 space. And that led me to host a meetup group here in San Diego called San Diego NFT Friends, where we meet once a month. We often have panels or speakers and free food and free drinks just for people to gather in person, meet other like-minded people, and ask your questions. How to set up a wallet? What is crypto? What is all of this, right? So I started that meetup group, And I figured out that a lot of the conferences that I ended up attending uplifted a lot of people that were kind of mainstream, like Tom Bilyeu's and Mark Cuban's. But I really wanted to hear from like the real builders, the real devs, the real artists, the real creatives that are truly here every day building on the blockchain technology. So I started my Web3 event company called Red Rug Edutainment, and that's what I do now full time. I left my sports medicine career to explore this and be a pioneer with all of my other friends. So that's a little bit about me, but I'll bring it over to Keegan for your intro.
All right, yeah. Thanks again for having me. Yeah, it's been good this past few weeks being able to get to talk shop on here every Tuesday and kind of just put together a nice slideshow for the people to watch and check out and have those visuals. And yeah, as far as myself, I've been in education. I've been a teacher for 14 years in public education, San Diego Unified School District. And so, everything that I do for Web3 blockchains and NFT, I have my personal brand, Ground Game Strong, and which represents showing up, being present, making an impact. I started that last summer. The gold star is a little homage to when I used to teach in the classroom. But I still give those out to this day, even to district personnel. I now work in the district office for the past 4 years. 10 years I was in the classroom teaching English and physical education. And so for the past, it's going to be 3 years, 3-year anniversary. I'm going to be having my show, 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays. And so this is a show where we share information, have discussions, and kind of try and bring some value to whoever is new, or maybe we missed something on the timeline. I have different guests whenever I can kind of get that connection and the time frame working out right. And so, yeah, I've been doing that. It's going to be 3 years in August, every week. Yay. I haven't missed a week. And so actually going to be doing that later today as well. A little bit earlier time frame just because we're trying to get to an event. And so, yeah, that's kind of everything that I've done. Well, actually, I take that back. I also did a show called Token Talk for a little over a year. Where I interviewed a number of people in the Web3 NFT space, including Vinny Hager, OSF, Mumbot, Gary V, Frankie Nines, Sarah Bauman, a few other people. And so, yeah, that's on YouTube as well. Kind of put pause on that just because I didn't want to do all the editing, but I do feel like I was able to kind of accomplish what I felt like I could do with that. And so hopefully there was some value in there, and, it's still there. So who knows, maybe I'll bring it back and do something else with it at one point. But for now, just trying to wrap up this summer vacation, continuing to show up here and be present as much as possible and whatever impact I can do. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, congratulations, almost hitting your 3-year anniversary, and I will be attending your show today. But yeah, I think we should get into the news that we have, because we have quite a bit. If you watched my last episode, you know that I started crypto vlogs. Well, I haven't been able to catch up to crypto vlog number 2 because it's been crazy. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys some stuff. Let's share some slides. Keegan, can you see that all right?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm hearing a little bit of an echo too, so I don't know.
Here, maybe I need to mute.
Okay. Well, let's start off the show with some show and tell. And we've got a few slides about show and tell because last week was just jam-packed here in San Diego. So one of the first Web3 focused events we had was Crypto and Coffee, which was hosted by Fari. A lot of you guys know who she is. She's a Web3 girly in the space, really into NFTs, and she started her own NFT collection called Beauty on the Blockchain, where if you buy one of her NFTs, she will go to you and do your makeup. So she started that, and she partnered with Stand with Crypto and a couple of other communities, and she had a panel. So she had a panel with some ladies, and Eric Motivate, who was came down from LA, so it was really great to see him. And he came down to moderate this panel. And on the panel, this first woman here, I forget her name. Keegan, do you remember her name? You're on mute, by the way.
The one on the far left in the picture?
Yeah.
That's Riley. So yeah,
Riley. Yeah. So this is Riley. And so she actually is one of the founders or members of a community called Stella. And Stella, I guess, is based, or I think they have multiple locations, but they have a location in San Diego at Hedera Club, I guess is where we were at here in San Diego. And basically what Stella is, it's just a community of mostly female entrepreneurs, but it's actually open to anyone. But basically teaches you how do you start an LLC, or what other entities are available to you. What are some things you should have in place when you start a business? So they kind of give you all these different things, even like they bring in speakers to educate upcoming entrepreneurs. So it was really cool. So they brought on Fari to come and bring, some other people who are versed in Web3 to bring education to many of these upcoming entrepreneurs. So of course we had Miss Nifty. Many of you know her. She is the chapter president for Stand With Crypto here in California. Eric Motivate, you guys know he has his new friendship tech events production that he does. And then there was Kelly Ann, who I've actually been following, and we finally got to meet each other for the first time, and she flew in from Washington. So you guys can see here, we kind of crowded around in a circle, and we just got to hear from them. And it was a little bit of a different event where, like I said, it was a lot of people who are upcoming entrepreneurs, not necessarily in Web3 or understanding about crypto. So I was kind of there to also help and provide education as we're networking. And I talked to them about what I do and how they can find me and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was a great event. There was free food, drinks, and just like, it was just a really chill vibe. And it was a great way to start Friday morning. But I don't know, Keegan, any thoughts? Because you came, even though it was kind of like female focused, you came. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good event. Like, I felt like the location was it was nice. Like, it was a nice venue. It was like clean. It was new. It was like very spacious. You know, they provided some snacks, refreshments. Pretty good group of people. Definitely some familiar faces that we've known for a few years now, as well as a good group of new people that are either newer to the space, like 6 months or less, or just kind of newer to kind of going out and networking and getting together for meetups. And so, yeah, our friend Rodrigo was there as well. He stopped in with his mom. He's part of the Cardano group here in San Diego. It was a good mix of people, to be honest with you. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of like new people, there was actually some people that I guess, like I met this one woman who was originally in NFTs back in 2021, and she was trying to start her NFT collection back then. But if any of you remember and were around, as an artist, it was kind of hard to start your collection. There wasn't like really any no code platforms yet. Like, this was before Mintify. The only kind of platform that there really was OpenSea. Like, you launch your collection on OpenSea, but that kind of hindered her, and she kind of left the space. So she came to this event to hear and get caught up on like what's been happening. And I told her, oh yeah, it's super simple to launch a collection now, especially like one of one art as an artist, because there are tons of no-code solution platforms. So I thought that was really cool too, to like meet someone who was used to be in the space, took a step back because it kind of got hard, but the technology has definitely developed since 2021. And then next up, that same Friday, but later in the evening, we went to a soccer game. So I'm wearing the jacket because we got the soccer game today. But it was really funny because, like I said, this week was jam-packed, especially with Web3. We had Comic-Con in town. But Keegan and I, we were on it. We're like, we're going to go to every single thing that we can. And we're actually season ticket holders for the San Diego FC soccer team. And so since this is the first year that this team has joined the MLS as the first season ticket holders, we're considered founding members. So as a founding member, one of the perks is we get to put our name and engrave it on the wall. And so on Friday was when they revealed the wall to all of the founding members. And so that's what these pictures are here of Keegan and I. We've got our matching jackets on. And we've got our names. We're kind of pointing to it. You can't see it in that picture, but it said, did you put your middle initial also, Keegan? I
I
think you're
believe
muted.
so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so we both put our middle initial. So his full name's on there, my full name is on there. And I mean, there's just tons of names on there. And it's really, really nice. It's pretty much, it's going to stay permanent until, I don't know, they decide to tear down that stadium, but that stadium is new. So it's going to be there for a while. So it was really, really great. And we also got to get a patch in our seats. They put a little letter that said, thank you so much for supporting, all of the signatures. And then they gave us a little patch that we can put on our jerseys that says founding members. But yeah, I don't know. We were on it. I don't know, Keegan, any comments on this when we went to that event?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's nice. And like these things, I really have a lot of appreciation for what the team is doing and how they're building, like, not only the organization, but the brand itself. Like, I think the logo's cool. I like the colors. They're actually in first place currently in the West. I think the MLS has had some growing over the past couple of years. Compared internationally, yeah, I would say it's not at the competition level of like Champions League or Premier League. However, like, you know, everybody's got to start somewhere. And so, you know, the league is a little bit, I think, 25 years now old, maybe 26 this upcoming year. So it's still newer, relatively speaking, compared to other ones. And yeah, they really have been improving stuff. And I wasn't really following the league that much, to be honest with you, to full transparency, but had a chance to meet like some of the people that are working at the organization, because we're kind of like working with them for some stuff for the school district. And yeah, they're doing some real special stuff to uplift the local artists. The logo represents 18 threads. Each line, if you take a look at it, those lines, it's like a soccer ball, but each line represents one of the communities in San Diego. And for each community, they feature an artist during a home game, and they actually feature their merch in the store. So they have shirts, they have the scarves, they have patches that they feature artwork, and they sell it in the official store at the stadium. So I think that's really, really cool and unique. I haven't seen that with a whole lot of our other organizations, in my opinion. I have seen a little bit now with Miami FC. Shout out to Swicky. I know Swicky had some stuff with them.
Cool.
But, you know, it's stuff like this where you're actually acknowledging like, hey, these are the people that were here in the beginning, that were here from the start, that believed in the start of this project, of the brand, of the organization, of this team. And it really helps bind and bring the community together. And so, in my opinion, very similar parallels to like Web3, NFTs, and projects and platforms. And when you do it the right way, people come out, people show up, people spend money, people get behind you, people go to events, people alter their schedules like we did in order to get there to this, because we were trying to go to Comic-Con stuff earlier that day, but we made a special trip to go. And so, yeah, it's a really fun experience. I'm really would, you know, push anybody who hasn't explored MLS to start paying attention a little bit, because I think it's only up and ups, and support San Diego FC because they're in first place, but they're also really good. In my opinion, they're really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, them being number one on the West Conference, I mean, speaks volumes for sure. And they've been in the number one spot for like 2 or 3 weeks now. So they've been doing awesome. I want to give a shout out to immutable.value.eth who reposted this stream. Thank you so much for supporting. I definitely recommend. I see 52 people watching right now. So if you go ahead and share it out, because we're now about to enter like the meat and bones of NFTs, because we're going to talk about Comic-Con. And if you've been following, you know, Pudgy Penguins has been at Comic-Con. So we're going to talk a lot about that and some of the things that we saw, because Comic-Con is not a Web3 event. Comic-Con is about IP, though, which we know NFTs, some of these NFT collections use their IPs to do products and brands and all these other things. So I think this is going to be a good episode. If you know someone who's trying to understand what NFTs, crypto, and blockchain is, again, go share out this stream. Because now, so this is still Friday, guys. Friday morning, we went to Fari's event. Then we went to the soccer game. After the soccer game, we went elsewhere. And we went to, what's that?
I was going to say, make sure you guys follow the YouTube channel, Layers with V Dizzle, as well. And the person you just highlighted, What was the handle again?
With
The
you're
comment?
talking about immutable.
Yeah.
Immutable
So
value.
shout out to me. Well, I saw you're here local in San Diego as well. We're in the crypto digital spenders club as well. So yeah, we'll definitely have to catch you at one of the meetups that Valley puts together, or if you put one together too, so we can kind of like talk shop and share ideas. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Immutable. Yeah, Keegan was telling me about you a little bit. And so, yeah, excited to meet another person in San Diego involved. And we're also part of Digital Spenders Club too, as well. So, yeah. But yeah, let's get on to it. So, for the show and tell on Friday night, we got access to the Comic Con Pudgy Party after party at Bait. Bait is a storefront in San Diego downtown, similar to Supreme, but they've got their own branding with their own merch. They've got collectibles, they've got shoes. So it's a really fun, funky kind of shop to go to and get some cool swag. And we got to meet some of the team. So here I'm pictured with Kevin, who is head of events. He was really, really, really nice. And apparently he doesn't have a Twitter. So yeah, I was like really surprised, but he's on it. He was there with the people talking with everybody. And then here in the next photo, we've got Jason. Jason is head of operations, and he was behind the desk. You were able to purchase some of the Vibes Pudgy cards that were there, and also get some pins. So that was super awesome. Jason was super nice. And then we got to see our friend Chloe. Chloe is in the Abstract community. So shout out to Abstract because we are streaming live on Abstract as well. But she is another crypto girly who is deep in it. For her livelihood, she trades on crypto every day. So she was there at the Pudgy event. And then guess what? You guys can probably guess why the pink pengu is pictured. Her name is actually Polly. I found that out. She has a name. Her name is Polly, but I took her. I asked permission for it. I didn't go and steal it out of the store, but they had a bunch of foam boards with all these different characters. And I fell in love with the pink one. And I asked Kevin, he's like, well, go ask Jason. I asked Jason, and he gave me the green light. And there we go. You could see me out on the on the sidewalk in downtown. And that's Steve. So Steve is also, he's head of partnerships for the Pudgy Penguin team. So they were all out there, and he got some photos of me. And it was just fantastic. But we got some swag, but I want to hear kind of Keegan's thoughts before I start sharing the swag that we got.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like the Pudgy Penguins just continue to just dominate like mindshare and just really have a consistent presence. And so not only just in general with Web3, but the outreach that they're doing to non-Web3 people just to familiarize with the IP, it's very, very strong. Like a lot of people were checking it out and seeing it with some of the other stuff we were doing. Very recognizable now. Like the distribution channels that they have is definitely like on full force. And so I'm not a penguin holder, but shout out to all the people that are. And I do hold Pengu, full transparency. But it's really cool. This event was fun. It was fun to go to it. I actually didn't even get confirmed for the event, but we went there, and so they're like, "Yeah, just come on in." And so, I was asking Jason, like, "Well, are these mostly Web3 people?" And they're like, "No, these are all like newer people that were at the Comic-Con conference earlier in the day." And then they started telling people, "Yeah, there's going to be this event," and so then people started coming through for that. Because usually, as you know, and maybe some other people in the audience on X know or Abstract, but usually a lot of events are on Luma. And so you have different groups and different chats, different telegrams where you can see when there's going to be these events. But these were non Web3 people. There was a very, very small handful, like a couple that were aware and kind of like in it, if you will. And so that just goes to show, like, yeah, they're doing outreach. They're bringing in new people that are not NFT degens, that are not day-to-day crypto on the timeline multiple hours. These are new people being familiarized with the IP, and they showed up to the event that they had there. And they have free pizza and free drinks. You can't
Oh,
complain about that.
so good. Yes. And I spiked my little drink. It was really cool because they had like lychee. It was kind of like boba lychee and the icy that they had. And it was actually in the shape of igloos. So they were really mindful of like all the small details
Mhm.
from like the pizza to the drinks and just like the overall vibe. And one of the coolest things is, like I said, we saw the head of partnerships, head of events, head of operations. But one of the coolest thing, guys, was the original artist of Pudgy Penguins was there. His name is Antoine Mingo, and he was there doing hand drawings for every single person that approached him. And he was doing these from scratch. He was doing original like artwork. And so if you showed up with to him and you said you had an idea of what the Pudgy looked like or what they were doing or wearing, he was just sketching it out. So I went and got some art and I told him I wanted a Wonder Woman, since it was Comic-Con, of course. I wanted a Wonder Woman inspired Pengu, and here's the artwork and his signature. Isn't that so cute? Like, I need to frame this. I need to frame this and just treasure it forever. So I just thought like, wow, like to have the original artist there, beautiful. Just the icing on the cake, you know? So yeah, that was the event. Anything else before I move on, Keegan?
I actually have the picture. I can upload it if you want the people to see. I actually had to screenshot it from the video, but I think it's worth sharing for context. I can add it to that same slideshow and just cover over the little.
Or you can just, if you want to share it, it might be faster just because it kind of takes a while to upload sometimes. If you want to share it, you can share the file through StreamYard.
I got it right here. Yeah, it'll be up in let's see, 2019, 18.
There we go. I
17.
see it.
Yeah, so like that's what we were just referring to for those that are just like watching the audience right now. Like those were the two characters, and it was like a slushy, but then they had little lychee ice, like you said, little glacier looking ice cubes. So detail oriented. So I'm just like, I'm just blown away. Like I love little stuff like that where it's like you really have these layers of like context that help familiarize with the brand, with the IP, with like the bigger picture. It's like an igloo, it's like frozen, it's like ice cubes, like so many different levels to that.
Layers.
So good. So good.
Yes. So good. Thank you for adding that. No, yeah, it was awesome. I'm a Pengu holder, FYI, but come on, how can you not be at this point? Like, don't fade the Penguins, don't fade the Pudgy Penguins. They're making headways, guys, and we're gonna talk more about it. But let's get on with the show. We'll come back to Pudgy Penguins in a little bit. Ow! There was a lot going on there. Hold on. Let me play one at a time. So actually, yeah, okay, this is more Pudgy Penguins. I guess we have more content on it. So this is like what it looked like at the event. So just good vibes. I don't want to. Oh, I don't know if I can play it without. Let me see.
The sound.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't want to get flagged from the music that the DJ was playing. I don't want them to like take down my stream. But there wasn't really much anything that's being said. But you can kind of see like you walk into the shop and you see all of the merch that Bates had. But then they also had, of course, the Pudgy stuff in there. So we kind of came a little bit later, but it was packed consistently throughout the evening. And there are some of the other Pudgy boards. There's Polly, the one that I took. There's the DJ. He was playing amazing jams the whole time. Yeah. People later on in the day like just started like dancing, so people were in good spirits. And then they had a heat press, which we will show you guys in a second. But there was the bartender. It was open bar. You can get some drinks. But one of the things that they were doing at the event was that they were doing heat press for canvas bags. So here you can kind of see that's a really cool Pudgy that they had. We thought it was Swilson's, but I don't think it is. They said that that's like one of the main collections that they have. They have the blue penguin and the pink one, and then the one with the jester hat.
They were mentioning that these characters, they designed I think they said they designed some of them because these are the ones that are going to be featured in the game. And so rather than kind of work through getting the IP from the community for the game for this part, they said they had their own that they created and designed for specifically like those. I guess those traits in that mixture is not a real one that they said, but they just designed it so for further reiterating like familiarity with like the brand.
Right. And then so just to show you guys here real quick, let's see, how do I do this? Go here. Okay. So here is the canvas bags that they made for us. So I've got mine. Mine's a little angel, a little princess angel here. And it says Pudgy Penguin, San Diego Comic-Con International, and Bait. So it is official merch. There's Keegan's. He's got the cute little Pengu with his arms up in the air. And then I got a second one because I loved it so much. This one has a little frog outfit on. It's so cute. So you best believe that was just bringing people in. They just wanted to come in. They don't really even know what Pudgy Penguin is, but they just see the cute character and they'll get whatever it is. If it's the cards, the pins, a drawing, if it's a drink, if it's the canvas bags, like they're just really, really popular with everybody because of how cute they are. And then in this video, you can see Antoine doing the artwork for somebody who just came in. And so that's him, and he's doing it just straight from there. He might use a cell phone for the inspiration, but it's just all him, which is pretty incredible. Like, that's not something I can do. Just like, okay, let me just draw, and then it looks amazing and perfect. But he really is like skilled and very, very talented. So yeah, shout out to Pudgy. Thank you guys for hosting. It was a fantastic event.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things. You know, I always think, like, personally, I think something like that with the heat press is a really cool activation for the people that stop by. And I will say that, and then I know you know this, the very first time we saw that was at Designer Con, and it was actually the local Clone X group from LA. And you were able to like look up on the board and pick one of 4 designs, and then they designed it and like printed it on a really nice shirt too. And so same concept, you know, you get to take something away. It's a meaningful item where you can use it. And, you know, these bags are branded now with Pudgy Penguin IP, and it has, you know, Comic-Con listed on it. So it's like, it's a pretty unique thing. So
yes,
I like it.
And then next up was the next day. Finally, guys, that was still all Friday. So now this is Saturday morning. Keegan went to a V-Friends meetup. So although V-Friends didn't have a booth, unlike Pudgy Penguins did have their booth. V-Friends brought in 2 of their team members to go and take some meetings and scope out what's happening with the latest IPs. So Andy Kranak, who is the president of V-Friends, was there. He's pictured here with Keegan. And then they also had their comic book artist, DJ Kaufman. And so I wasn't able to go. I didn't make it because my car died. I told Keegan to go ahead in front of me and that I'll meet up with him, thinking, oh, I'll just take my car. Nope, it died. So I missed the V-Friends meetup, but thank goodness I was able to catch Andy Kranak here right before he left because he was flying back to New York. But I'll let Keegan take this slide because tell us, like, how was the event? Who was there? Like, this is a pretty good meetup for V-Friends in San Diego. And I can only imagine there was a few people who were local and probably many more people who flew in. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the event.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is something else where it's like, in my opinion, it's really underrated. Like, you know, full disclosure, I'm a V-Friends Series 1 holder and Series 2, and that's what brought me into the space. I know you as well mentioned in the beginning of the show, but, you know, they're doing really great stuff, honestly. Like, the way that they're implementing the Topps Chrome cards, the comic books, like, Andy flew down with the artist, the director of comics, and his new role, the character development, like head of that. So like they're really going all in on the storytelling now, which I'm a huge fan of. And so, we have some of our local friends that showed up as well. Joshua Tree, Jeremy, like Emieli, she drove down from LA. She actually drove down for the Pudgy Penguins event that night before that we just talked about. Got some of the exclusive stuff as well, which we actually didn't even share the other piece of it. And then also drove back to LA, and then she drove back down in the morning for this meetup for the VeeFriends one, because hotel prices like in San Diego during Comic-Con are like through the roof on top of already being pretty booked out. So it's not very easy to like make that happen unless A, you live here, or B, you're somewhere close so you can drive down, which she was. So yeah, it's just like Comic-Con is a whole scene and spectacle, and there's just a bunch of different avenues that go into it, from collectors to flippers to people just cosplaying to activations, debuting exclusive IP, debuting exclusive trailers, different movies, different shows, all sorts of stuff. And so, I was very fortunate to get to this, and it was not, in my opinion, even though we live here, like it was not very like, oh, let me just pull up and park. And like, it's a whole production, full disclosure, to go downtown and like go through the traffic, go through the crowds. Like I think like 200,000 people fly in for this event. So like parking is difficult. I actually don't like to drive into downtown, generally speaking, but for this, it was just more efficient in terms of trying to get there as quick as possible. And so, yeah, I was able to go to the meetup. It was in the morning, and talk with Andy and the community and DJ Kaufman, and they gave out these limited edition, special edition, exclusive comic books. Yeah, and it's a three-horn harpic is the character, and this is issue number 4. And so this comic book is actually not going to be released to the public until like 4 weeks, I was told.
Oh wow!
Until they go through the process, until they get it like live to purchase, and then they ship it out. It's going to be a few weeks. So I will be reading this on Whatnot for anybody that's a fan or check that out. And we're going to go into the story. This is going to be the backstory of the three-horn harpic for anybody that follows the VeeFriends community and characters. And I got to say, like, that's why I just got to give them kudos. Like, I really see and understand now how they're connecting these dots and really making this like in depth with like how things are going to play out for the VeeFriends universe. Because now going forward, all the stories and all of the things that you'll see from VeeFriends is going to it's going to continually wrap back to the comic books. This is where the stories, the origin, and all the things that come off for like side quests and side projects, this is where they're going to stem from first. And on top of it, just to like further reiterate, they actually have a comic short strip series that goes into newspapers in different states throughout the US. And so those stories that are on there, one of the most recent ones was the Willful Wizard, which is another character. They actually bridge the stories into these comic books. And so they're actually going to start doing 2 comics per month starting in December, I believe. I don't know if that's like alpha or not, but they're going to be regular sized comic books, and they're going to be 2 per month starting in December. So they're going all in on the storytelling. And I'm actually really excited to learn and see where these characters come from, what's their background, what do they do, like what's their tone, what's their traits. It's really unique in my opinion. So I'm excited for that. I have not even read this myself. We haven't had any time, but I am going to make some time to at least read through it one time before I do the reading on Whatnot Live. Hopefully I'm going to do that on Thursday. If not, yeah, probably not tomorrow, but Thursday or Friday, I think, is when I'll be doing that. So very appreciative to be able to get this in. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a bunch. I know there were some people that reached out, and then sorry I wasn't able to get like a bunch of these like to send to people and like, do raffles and stuff. And there's only 309. But the good news is that the actual story, comic book number 4, is going to be coming out. It's the same story. It just doesn't have that exclusive tag on it where there's only 309 from San Diego Comic-Con. So very appreciative of Andy, Gary, DJ Kaufman, and the whole team for just helping bring this stuff to life.
No, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you, because I know since I missed it with my phone, my car dying, you were able to snag me one, which I really appreciate, and I look forward to hearing it when you read it on Whatnot. Something I was doing while you were talking, Keegan, was I noticed down here in the comic, it says Gary and DJ Kaufman, but what about Kate Windows? So I decided to look her up, and she has an Instagram, and she's followed by some people that I know. And of course, Andy Kranak is following her. And it looks like she is also an illustrator herself. So I'm sure some of her work is in there as well. These look fantastic. I also found her LinkedIn. So she says, I'm a comic book artist and illustrator. I have worked in graphic design marketing, illustrated and published my works, and worked with other artists and writers on different assortments of projects. My main focus is comic books and illustration. I currently have my first graphic novel, Refrigerator Girl, published by Anvil Games. I have a personal interest in drawing pop culture and fandom related content. I'm most well known by my social media name, Kate Comics, for my fan work. I often promote and sell my work at comic conventions and my local comic shops. So I wonder if she was there. Have you? Do you know if she was there?
I think she may have been there. This blonde girl. Yeah, I think I didn't get a chance to speak with her, but I did ask DJ Kaufman. I was like, "Hey, how does this like work? Do you have to do this whole art, all the pages?" She's like, "No." He's like, "No, we have a team, and that's why now she's part of like doing some of the work with us." And
cool.
So it's like kind of dispersed all throughout, and then they all work on different parts, and it all comes together. Pretty interesting process. So I had actually really enjoyed speaking with him for the little bit of time that I did, and yeah, I would love to have him as a guest on the show. Very personable, very nice. He signed the comic book, and yeah, like I said, Andy said that he ran out as well. Like, so there wasn't like, I don't think anybody got more than the one for themselves. Like,
yeah, well, no, that's amazing. I mean, it's kind of cool because we've already kind of seen the process with Uniforce when they were releasing their comic book with Josh Blaylock. And remind me the artist's name besides Josh Blaylock for the Uniforce comic.
Oh, it was Paul Jenkins.
Paul Jenkins, yeah, who did the origin story for Wolverine. So we kind of got to see that process. So now to see the V friends going through it, we kind of understand a little bit of the culture and then how the comics book goes. So I think it's really, really cool. And congrats, Keegan. I saw that this was a retweet by Gary. Gary reposted this post from you, so that's pretty awesome.
Those are nice little touches, I guess, right? Like when they acknowledge and see,
Yeah, I love that he's there supporting the community. And then later that Saturday night, we went and did something that Keegan and I have never done before. I just got really inspired about like all these people that are coming into San Diego. Like Keegan said, over 200,000 people come to Comic-Con, not necessarily going inside the convention because there's only so many tickets and they sell out. So then people go outside of the convention still dressed up in cosplay. There's so many different activations. People are people watching and just, it's like almost a whole parade and holiday here in San Diego in itself. So I was like, you know what? This is the perfect crowd of people that should know about NFTs and crypto, right? So I got really inspired and I went ahead and spent my own money and printed a board, which you can kind of see behind me here. So it says, talk to us. NFTs, crypto, no idea? Perfect, because we want to talk to you. And so it was just such a crazy night and experience. And honestly, like I learned, obviously, like in the beginning, it was kind of slow to start. We're kind of like, what do we do? What's our aim? What's our goal? But then we ran into this guy who, out of the blue, just seemed to pop up. I don't have a picture of him. I'm pretty sure he's in the live stream that we did. But he just kind of came up. He was this guy who just got off work. He's in a suit. He's in a briefcase. And he's like, hey, guys, what are you guys doing? Talking crypto NFTs. And he started basically conversating and having a little of a debate with us about like crypto and what he thinks, because he was a broker and financial advisor. So he had a lot of thoughts and a lot of things to say, but he's like, hey guys, I see what you guys are doing. You guys need to do a better job of getting people on the block. Let me show you how it's done. And he just started working the crowd as people are walking by our booth. He just was able to cherry pick the right person and be like, hey guy, like you look great. Love what you're doing. Come over here. Can I ask you a question? And then they'd walk over to him. He'd be like, what do you think about crypto? You hold any? And it was just so organic, so crazy, but it was just so perfect because these people stopped to talk to him and all of us for like a good 10 to 15 minutes, like each. And I was just like, wow, this was a master class, but it gave me and Keegan the confidence to start talking more with people. And soon enough, we had tons of people coming up to our booth. Some of them knew about NFTs and crypto, others didn't. And there was still a lot of conversations and things to say. So you can see here, this is me picking up the poster at Staples. And then we just set up shop literally in front of a store called Off the Bench, but they were not open for business. So we're like, hey, you know what? We can just set up on the sidewalk. And we did. And we put up my banner, which was San Diego NFT Friends. And then we had a bunch of like little things for people to give away. And then, of course, we had Polly the penguin. And that was like one of the biggest drawing factors for people, was because whether they knew Pudgy Penguins or not, they're like, I want to take photos with it. So here's a little clip, and let's play it. So you can see here, I'm dressed up in cosplay. I'm actually dressed up as my Oni Force with the pink hair and the yellow headphones. And there was just a group of girls. It was so funny because they were out in the town, not for Comic-Con, but they were going to celebrate one of the girlfriends' birthdays. And she's like, hey, are you guys, recording? I want to be on camera. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about crypto and NFTs. What do you know about it? And she's like, I know it's something that people like invest in, and, I've heard about it. And I was like, well, I think you should, take a leap into it, do some more education. So it was just like a really fun conversation. They were all really supportive. They were all really excited. They followed my YouTube and they're like, oh my God, we're live. Like, it's kind of like, oh my God, they felt like they were famous. So it was just funny. And then here's some more people who stopped at the booth. And just picking up some stickers. So some of the things that we had at the booth was this fan. So let me show you guys. So here's the Stand with Crypto paddle fan. It was really good. It was really hot both in the day and the evening. This was really good for people to come and grab. And then we had my Oni Force stickers. I was cosplaying as her, so a lot of people thought that was cool. A lot of people thought like I was a comic book artist, and I had to tell them like, no, I'm not. I just, this is an NFT project that I really love, and I just love the artwork. And then giving out my stickers for San Diego NFT Friends. And then one of the main popular ones too was the Pizza DAO. I am a member of Pizza DAO, and of course, who doesn't love pizza? So they picked up this one, a lot of them. They were almost out, and then I ended up running out of the Oni Force logo one, and then some people picked up the Stand with Crypto sticker that we had. And then we also had some Bored Ape snacks. Shout out to Forever Famous. This is his Bored Munchie snack brand, and he uses his and a lot of the community members' IP. And so a lot of people love these. We only had this one left. And then lastly, what I don't have is the chipped nails. A lot of you guys, I've talked about chipped nails before on the show, and I had just one that I brought, not really with the intention that someone was going to pick it up, but one of the girls did, and she was so excited. Like, I was just stepping back. I was like just observing, and she kind of looked around. She's like, can I take this? I'm like, yes, please take it. And I was like, can I tell you about chipped nails? And she's like, yes, girl, tell me about it. So I told her about how there's the NFC chip in the thumb, and people can scan it with their phone, and you can share your contact details and any links you have. And she's like, this is perfect. I'm a businesswoman. I have my own business. She was with like a little crew, and they loved it. She's like, I'll tag you guys and all this stuff. So everyone was like in really, really good spirits. It was great. So Keegan, I've talked enough. I know you have some thoughts about it. Please share.
Are you sharing the slideshow too? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I thought this was really cool. Like, yeah, we never really have done this before, but we made it happen. Like we set everything up, and yeah, you were able to do some live streaming. We had the equipment out there. You connected with a lot of different people from different ages, different races, different, people visiting, people that were local, people getting off work. Yeah, it was definitely a good way to get a pulse and see like how people
Yes,
are
okay.
feeling, what their thoughts are, where they're from, what they're about. And yeah, there's the live stream that we did the other night. Yeah, obviously lighting wasn't the best, but still, like, we really connected with a lot of different people. And yeah, it's interesting to see like some of the things, like where people are at when it comes to like Web3, NFTs, collectibles, like the intellectual property, like IP, I think is just such a huge part of the discussion now. At least it should be, in my opinion, for the projects that are leaning into that. And I think
Mhm.
it really helps.
Yes, okay.
I think it really helps connect the people to understand, but they don't even really understand like the background of it. Of like, oh, it's on chain and it's like NFT and there's all these things and it's on Ethereum and there's this other token and there's like in reference to penguins, but yeah, it was a good kind of like activity you and I were able to do.
Yeah.
Although we were a little tired after, I think it was very meaningful and impactful. And so, yeah, I think like, hopefully we can do a few more things like this. I definitely have a few ideas like for doing stuff with Rect. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And no, it was great. I would do it all over again, and I plan to do it again just to get better at it. But we even had 200 people tune in to the live. So people got to see right then and there, if they were not at Comic-Con, they got to see kind of like what people thought about crypto and NFTs live. None of it was scripted. Oh, and here's this lady who came up to the booth, guys.
Oh yeah.
This woman, we found out she works for Mattel, and she designed the booth inside Comic-Con for Monster High. If you don't know about Monster High, it's a huge IP. It's kind of like a fashion doll. If you think about Bratz, the Bratz dolls, it's very much like that, but they're more like Halloween vibes. They're like ghouls, zombies, vampires, but they're these dolls, fashionistas, and they're more on like lean more towards like the goth dark side. And so they had a booth at Comic-Con with Mattel, and this woman was the designer. And I asked her, do you know about crypto and NFTs? And she's like, yes, I do, because Mattel has done NFTs themselves. They did NFTs with Barbie, where that was just like a digital collection. And she said, like, yeah, Barbie didn't do so well, but where she really feels like NFTs are promising is when you can offer physicals. So she had talked about Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels and Mattel did an NFT where like you could collect 5 different NFTs, and if you got them all, you got to get a collectible physical Hot Wheel. So she said that was really, really successful. And then of course we know Gary Vee has collaborated with Mattel with his Uno cars and even Masters of the Universe. So Mattel is in it, and it was just so cool to meet someone in the industry and who just is a fan of NFTs also. So that was really, really cool to meet her and her friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, overall, yeah, it was just a great little activation that we did, and yeah.
Yeah, I think one more thing I want to talk about this too was really big takeaway. Speaking of like her mentioning the Hot Wheels and NFTs, and then getting a physical when you collect the NFTs, is that was kind of like the one block that a lot of people had, was that when it comes to crypto and NFTs, digital assets, digital collectibles, it was really hard for some people to understand, because they're like, if I can't touch it, I can't feel it. Is this magic internet money? How can I trust it? So something not being physical led to, how could they trust it? Because some of the examples we were trying to tell people is like, well, BlackRock is buying up crypto, JP Morgan, some of the big banks that are buying up crypto, and they're like, but I don't trust those entities to begin with. A lot of people don't trust BlackRock. A lot of people don't trust banks like JP Morgan. And that's fair. We're like, wait a minute, that is fair. And so it's like, okay, well, I think before we can even provide some of the major like education of what this is I think these IPs, especially like NFTs, need to try and focus on bringing utility, right, with physicals or something that people can kind of understand. People understood the board munchie snacks because they're physical. You can eat them and it's cool. People understand pudgy penguins because they're getting plushies, they're getting pins, right? Rect drink, right? With their tokens, you can go and buy their Rect energy drink, right? These are things that people are more leaning towards to than just a coin or an NFT that is just simply remains digital. I think people right now, we need to meet them where they are. And a lot of them still need to have something physical or tangible to be able to really understand and trust the technology. It doesn't matter if we say it's on blockchain, it's immutable, it's not editable, you can't editable, right? You can't delete it, you can't alter it, right? It doesn't matter. Those people don't really care. It's more so like if they can see it and touch it and then they'll believe it. So that's just something that I wanted to make sure to touch on for anyone who's out there who either is a founder of a project or thinking about launching a collection, to really think about that. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. Uh-oh. Is it not going? Okay, here we go. What is this? What is this? Okay. Oh, okay. So then we had Sunday morning, guys, right? The next day. I feel like, let's see where we're at in time. Ooh, we're almost an hour and we're only at show and tell. I don't think we're going to be able to go into like every single thing that I have on the slides for you guys today, but we're going to try to get through it. But we did get to we got a pass. Thank you so much to one of our friends. And yeah, I got to go in there and it was crazy. I found my friend Chloe. Her and I went to the Pudgy Penguin booth and we got our cards, right? So we got our pack of cards because what Pudgy was doing was if you get one of their Vibes cards, open the pack and go get one of the cards graded. You can go to the booth that was about 3 or 4 booths down and go to PSA. When you go to PSA and you pay them about $25 to grade it, to send it in, they'll give you a guaranteed graded 9 or 10 Pudgy card. And so apparently they have been doing this every single day of Comic-Con, but unfortunately when Chloe and I got there, they sold out. So we were not able to get our guaranteed graded 9 or 10, but the experience itself was cool and just learning like how to do it. I have never submitted like turning in something to get graded. So I kind of went halfway through the process until I realized they sold out of the graded 9 or 10s, but it was really cool. Everybody was super helpful, really friendly. Here's a little bit of Chloe and I at the booth. It was super fun. Jason was there. Steve was there. Kevin was there. Everybody that we met at the after party. And I mean, look behind this, guys. This is the line. There's a really long line that wrapped around the booth just so people can go and play the claw machine to get their Pudgy Penguin plushie. And for the kids, what was really cool was, of course, if you don't grab the plushie with the claw, you can't have sad kids. You can't have kids that were crying that they lost. So something that they did that was really cool was they had a worker off to the side. And if they lost, they didn't get a plushie, they'd be like, oh, come here. I need to tell you a secret word. And then they would whisper the secret word to the kids. And then they'd be like, go over there and tell them the secret word. So then the kids would go up to the booth and they would talk to Jason. And Jason was like, did you guys get the secret word? And they're like, yeah, what's the secret word? And then they would whisper it. And Jason would be like, shh, okay, shh. And then he would turn around and then he would give the kids the plushies. So if they just made them feel really special, they made sure to give all the kids the plushies, whether they actually won through the claw or not. So that just warmed my heart. It was so cute. But I want to bring it over to Keegan to comment anything about that.
Yeah, I mean those cards that you so once you graded the cards and were able to get the exclusive one, if you got it, but they already sold out earlier in the day from multiple days, is what they said. That those were selling, I think, on eBay for like $150, almost 200. I mean, I understand now the exclusivity, like, and rarity of things that they debut and have there at San Diego Comic Con. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think like again, activation, what they're doing in terms of for the Pudgy Penguins anyway, like they're doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way, and the amount of foot traffic for the entire Comic Con is just like ridiculous. Like there's so many people visiting from all over the globe. So much money flows through this, like not only to the city, but the amount of merch and amount of like toys and collectible. There's so much stuff being purchased. Like it's a pretty ridiculous amount. And some people are very very diehard about it. And I think that if they had an easy access point in order to participate in NFTs and digital collectibles, if it was smooth and frictionless, I could see this whole crowd jumping into that bandwagon because this is like, it's not just one thing. Like you have people that are fans of horror, you have people that are fans of the movie shows, you have people that are fans of like the cards, people are fans of the comics, people that are fans of the anime. There was a
Real
whole
quick,
anime
that's the
cycle.
PSA graded card that Steve was showing off right there around his neck. He
Mhm.
was rubbing it in my face. Just saying.
So I mean, yeah, like there's just really creative ways to for people to be familiar with your intellectual property. I'm very curious to see what V Friends ends up doing next year for this, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a big deal. But maybe I'm a little biased. But again, seeing the
We're
Pudgy
like, wait,
Penguins do what
what?
they
What do you
do,
mean V Friends at Comic Con
yeah,
next
like
year?
maybe next year if they get a booth or something and they do an activation, I don't know. Like,
Right.
but yeah, like I think any of the projects or brands or companies that are there, like they get a lot of like eyes and ears and awareness. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see and be around, and very fortunate that we're local here, able to go to that. And I'm glad a lot of people from LA are having to drive down here because you and I have been driving up to LA for a lot of different things lately, and I'm glad that somebody from up there had to kind of like start to make the hike down there, even in LA.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's definitely nice to have people come to us for once. But here you guys go. Here's a closer look at the pins that they were giving out at Comic Con. And of course, one of the cool things is that on the back, you can scratch this right here, and it will give you the code to unlock your skin to play inside their Pudgy Penguin party game. And something that's really cool is I got two. So I'm all about the skins because if you ever play like Roblox or Fortnite, which I play Fortnite, I have honestly, I didn't think I would do this, but I have spent real hard earned money just to get some skins that I don't even own. Like on Fortnite and Roblox, you don't own those skins, right? Those companies own it, but I think you get to own your skin maybe with this. I'm not sure. Actually, not sure. But I love skins either way. And it's a Comic Con exclusive skin. So it's going to be that little superhero there. Super exciting. And then here you guys go. This is a look at the cards. This is the foil one that I was trying to get graded. And then this one, I love this one. This one says what does it say? Prosperous Penguin. So I love that one. It's such good vibes, good signals. We will be prosperous. And then here's like the ramen, ramen one. And yeah, the cards just feel so good, feel so sleek. They have like this nice gloss. You can see this shine on it. And honestly, I think I'm gonna get into this game. Like I think I'm gonna learn. I really want to collect more packs. Now that Keegan got some, Keegan bought all these, right? How many packs did you end up buying?
I bought a few. I bought 6 packs. So yes.
Ooh.
So I'll be selling these and opening them on the whatnot, along with some of the VFriend stuff that I have. And yeah, this is really cool. These pin things, these were going for, I think I saw on eBay $99. And so, or yeah. And on top of
Wow.
it, like, so not only is it like 4 pins and it's exclusive to Comic Con, but you get, yeah, as you mentioned, the skin, which you can then use in the game. So You had to have been there in order to get this, unless you know somebody on the team and maybe they gave it to you at other things. But an exclusive skin that you get to use in the Pudgy Penguins game, which we still need to check out and play. And so you can only get it there. So I'm kind of stoked about that. Yeah, shout out to Jason and the team. Yeah, they did an awesome job.
Yes, fantastic job.
I'm gonna go grab the water. I will be right back. I'm gonna go.
Sounds good. And then next up, we had this activation. So now this is Sunday night, guys. This is still Comic-Con, but something that was really cool. I mean, you can kind of see some people were getting into the spirit. I took a picture. I forget what they're called. Meeps. They're kind of like the puppets, but they don't talk. They just go beep, 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 right? So yeah, I just love their costume. It was so good. And the only activation Keegan and I got to go see was the Predator Badlands, but it was not that bad. It was actually really good, and it was the last activation to be open for the rest of the night. So what you had to do was you go through this maze, and you get to see all of these props and the sounds from the movie that they're gonna have. And then at the very end, they give you a bracelet. And with that bracelet, you get to go and get a free drink at the end of the maze. So at the end of the maze, you go to the bar, and it was open bar. You could tell them whatever you wanted. And then you go and hang out, and you connect with other people who are there for Comic-Con. So Keegan and I finessed, and we actually got to get 3 bracelets and have a few drinks and kind of have a little fun. And we met some really, really awesome people that were there that were not in Web3, just part of the industry or there for Comic-Con. But it was a great event. I had a really good time. And yeah, the drinks were really good. Bartender and all the staff were really, really nice. And I actually live streamed. So I will show you guys a little bit of what that looked like. So here's Keegan and I going inside. We're like waiting. Oh, and here, I don't know. It just looked cool. I was like, I don't know what any of this is. It looks kind of scary. It was giving me like Halloween maze, like Universal Studio vibes. Like, it was just so good. They had like real plants there. Like there was real plants. They had like, air like shooting out from the walls, like kind of like in your face, in your hair. It was kind of scary because you didn't know when it was going to happen. And then they had like the little photo op. You can go take a photo with the sign, which you saw Keegan and I did. So yeah, and we met this guy was really cool. He was behind us in the line the whole time. He was a horror fanatic, and so am I. So we really hit it off there, because I think that was the first one after. You're like waiting in line for our drink. That's one of the bartenders. Shout out to him, because he was an amazing bartender. He was getting my drinks all throughout the evening. And
you mentioned they were free?
They were free, yes, with the wristband. So all of this was free. And then you can kind of see, here's the crowd of people who are just like hanging out, like networking, making friends, getting to know each other. And it was just really, really intimate. But yeah, and there's me with another wristband. So I'm like waiting to go see the bartender again, saying, hey, I got another wristband. He kept saying like, what the heck? Like, how are you getting more wristbands? And I was like, you just got to know people. You got to know people. So yeah, it was just really good time. And got to tell people about like crypto and NFTs, also share more stuff there. So yeah. I don't know. Was it the next slide? You had some more stuff to share? Was it?
About this one, or?
Yeah, about the Predator.
No, you said you had this video, so I didn't upload it.
Darn it. Yeah, so this is supposed to be a video, and I don't know why, but it's not showing up, and I can't even click it. So unfortunately, I don't know why. I don't know why it's not playing. But it was supposed to be a video of where you got to see the Predator and you got to ask him questions. And the Predator speaks in his own unique language. And it was just so cool. And we were waiting for quite a few hours for him to come, because apparently they were supposed to have 2 actors. One of them got sick, so they only had 1 actor, and he went on break. and then came back. And then that's when there was a security guard who like walked me and Keegan over and some of the new friends we made. And they're like, hey, let me bring you back into the maze and you get to go meet the predator and ask questions. And so I think a lot of people thought like Keegan and I were official press because I was wearing the camera on my chest and they were being super, super extra nice to me, to me and Keegan. So it kind of helps if you're walking around with the camera and people give you a little bit more special treatment, I feel like, in my opinion. So yeah, and any thoughts or comment on that, Keegan, on the activation?
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. I mean, we didn't get to do a ton of them because a lot of them were like really long waits. We talked to people, and this is the thing that's like, you think about it and you kind of like are like, wow, people fly from all across the country. Some people even camp out like to go into the next morning. So they probably don't even stay at their hotel. So they spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. And these activations, like they had Fantastic Four, they had Percy Jackson, they had the Sonic the Hedgehog, they had a South Park one I heard about. They had this Predator one, Badlands Predator, which is a movie coming out in November. So it's just still a little bit of ways away. There's an Aliens one for a show that's coming out in the fall. I think that's September. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. But it's just like a whole scene and spectacle, and it's a lot of energy, a lot of effort. You really have to be prepared for something like that. And I'm glad that we got to do it. I thought it was really fun. The fact that we were able to kind of like, okay, get to be a part of it. And don't get me wrong, like these are done really well. Like at least this one was. I can't speak for the other ones, but like these are basically the people that work on the movie sets. These are people like that work on the props, that work on like the stage. So they did a really great job where it felt like you were kind of in a very like unique activation where you're immersed in the experience. I had seen the trailer for this movie, Predator Badlands, maybe like a week or two ago. I thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. Like there's some funny like satire moments between this character who's kind of connected, I guess, with the Predator. I don't really know the full connections and everything, but this is what I grasped through the preview. So now this makes me even want to see it more. And the fact that they had this activation, the fact that it was, kind of a free, they give free drinks. I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to get behind this. So let me see if I can get this video to upload here for you guys, because I thought this was really cool. So we got to see the Predator. There it is.
Oh, what happened?
Becoming of Yaksha Prime, a far superior planet to yours of Earth Prime. Anything else? You humans are monsters. The Yaksha Prime have been around for years and years and generations. It's you humans won't understand. Also, as a side note from his communication system, it's rude to ask someone's age. Please move on, humans. Go.
Are you single? That was me who asked that question.
So, yeah, I mean, just to add to that before, just so we can move on. But, I guess we can kind of like take it off now. But this, they did a good job. Like that video doesn't even do it full justice. Like it looks very real. Like the design, the people that are doing the costumes and makeup and everything, like that person was tall that was in that costume. The lighting was so good on it. Like, and we tried to take a picture, which we kind of did, but it came out kind of dark. But on top of that, there was like an AI that you could talk to, like a computer. I don't know if you mentioned it, but like you could interact with it, like this AI, ask it questions.
It wasn't like an AI. It was a real person.
I think it was AI, the voice of the spaceship.
No, it was a real person. There's a real person behind the wall who's listening.
I didn't see that part. Well,
you can't see them. You're not supposed to see them. No, it's not AI. It's a real person. I'm 100% positive. So I like that you thought it was AI though. I'm like, no, it was an actor. There's someone on the
I'm imagining it was like the spaceship, like when you're on Aliens and like you talk to the
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to feel like. That is what it's supposed to feel like.
It felt very like authentic. And then on top of that, finally they brought the Predator out and like you could be there close to him. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yes. And then here's the last bits of our show and tell, which these are some of the things we didn't get to see. Like there was a K1 Speed Sonic the Hedgehog. We were kind of really excited for because a couple years ago when we went to Comic-Con, the people from the Board in Hungary, they had acquired or started partnering with the IP brand of Sonic. But that's why we're just like, oh, we should go check it out. And we didn't get to make it over there, but it was all this whole, they took over the whole K1 Speed, and you got to play arcade games, have some hot wings and pizza, and go-karting. So that was cool. And then the other activation that we didn't get to see, but we really wanted to, that's why we were taking pictures. We were like, okay, take a picture of here, take a picture of here, because this is where we want to go. And so this other place was the Pac-Man arcade. So this was on a Wednesday night. Like this is literally 2 days before officially Comic-Con opens. And there was already starting to be a crowd out the door on a Wednesday night. And then I thought this was really cool. I don't know. I just, these two gals were dressed up as kind of like statues, gargoyles, angels in a way. And they just look so realistic, like kind of scary. Like their costume was just so good. And then last thing is on our last night, we decided to go get some Prince Street Pizza, which we recommend if you have a chance to go check it out. There's different locations all over California, but they were also featuring a collaboration with Mr. Beast, and they were doing a Feastable treat, like pizza treat with cinnamon or like chocolate fudge. And so there it is. It's very funky looking, obviously with the pinks and the blues and the browns. And I don't know, Keegan, I'll let you go first. What your thoughts were on the treat when you took a bite?
The regular pizza that they have is very, very, very good, in my opinion. Yes. I liked it. This dessert pizza that they had with Mr. Beast was not very, very, very good. It was actually
out of 10, what would you rate it?
Probably like a 4 or a 5, maybe.
I would have rated it a 1 or a 0. I absolutely hated it. But then again, I'm someone who doesn't like really sweets and stuff like that. And but just even like the quality of the chocolate or the fudge I was on, it was just terrible. Like it just did not mix. So Keegan and I were saying like we've also heard not so great things about his like regular like Feastable chocolate. So I don't know. This is kind of in line with those criticisms. I did not like it. So. And that's why. So the pizza employees gave it to this friend that we just met that night for free because it wouldn't sell. So the guy was like, "Let me take it for free so I can try it." And they gave him the whole box of the Feastable treat pizza thing. So that just tells you right there, it was not selling out. And then lastly, so then we have like some other news. Keegan, I'll let you decide what we should do. We have 100 live viewers. Thank you so much for all the support. But we're already over an hour. We're at an hour and 17 minutes. What do you think? Should we go into it? Should I'll leave it up to you because I know you've got a show to do. It's almost 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, you have quite a few slides. I mean, you could always keep doing it and I could hop off and just start my show separate, but yeah, we're actually trying to get to the soccer game later today for San Diego FC, and so I'm trying to do what I can, and Valerie's trying to do what she can. We can kind of like skim over this kind of quick if you want to bring it up on the slides or talk about it briefly. Like I can kind of touch on it, or if you want to touch on it. But I think some of the other ones is you got a lot of stuff. But I mean, you could kind of jam through it, I guess, if you do it quick.
Okay, well, give me some time. Give me like a time frame. Like, how many minutes do I have? And I can get through all this stuff if you've given me a certain time frame to get 10
minutes.
In. 10 minutes? All right. So
My
let's
show's
say
supposed to start at 4:50. I'm actually supposed to start earlier today. So
at 4:50.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's 4:44 right now.
Well, I guess we might go a couple minutes late then. So if anybody wants to jump on to 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays, it's going to be a little earlier today. But If I'm late, it's because Valerie's show this time.
No. I asked you. It's not because of me. I asked you. Do you want me to go over this stuff?
You go ahead. Let's see how fast you can go.
All right, guys. Hold on to your butts because we're gonna give you some of the Web3 top headlines, okay? And of course, Pengu is in our news for a 7th week in a row, and there is just a lot. So last week, they celebrated their 4th birthday. It's been 4 years since the Pudgy Penguins have minted. So everybody was in high spirits celebrating. And then from Whale Insider, just then, Pengu surpasses 868,000 holders as price surge continues. So there are more collectors coming in, which is fantastic. The more unique holders you have, the better I feel like community and fandom and just people who are real fans of the project is, you know. And then over here, we have over 100 Pudgy Penguin NFTs are set to be brought to life as physical collectibles. It might just be you. So a reason why there's probably a lot more new holders is because they're working with Overpass IP to look for their next set of plushies to bring to life. And so they're going to be using some of the Pudgy Penguin holders and using their IP, licensing it out. And as a holder, if you get chosen, you get to get some of the royalties for all the plushies that get sold. And you could see those things go crazy globally, and especially at Comic-Con, everybody's wanting a plushie. And then, of course, you guys already heard about it. We showed you that July 24th through 27th, they were having a booth at Comic-Con, and they were doing a special Comic-Con release where you get to get a skin if you get their pins. And then lastly, there's a tweet by Burko. Go take a look at it because it's all about those SBT tokens, which are the soulbound tokens. So Pudgy Penguin soulbound tokens, all you need to know, alpha in the last comment. So go check it out. There is some alpha in there and how you can go get a soulbound token official from Pudgy Penguins. What will that soulbound token do? I don't know. You got to read the thread. So that's the Pengu layer. Next, we got Wrecked World Domination Layer. That's what RWD stands for. And this is going to be all about Wreck. So something that I'm thinking is like, I'm going to consistently be talking about penguins because they're just every week. There's always some news. And of course, I got Polly the Penguin. But also another great brand that is doing some amazing things is, of course, Wrecked. We've talked about them a few times in our show as well. And so we have OSF, who is the founder and CEO of Wrecked. He says, let me tell you a little bit about how we approached marketing for Wrecked. So I recommend go checking out that tweet because he literally says how he got to where he was. He talks about how they minted it out, right? But it was a free mint. So there was no funding, there was no liquidity. And it wasn't until they started getting royalties from all of the NFTs that were trading on the secondary market. With that money, they went ahead and did some cool stuff. And then they launched their Rex token, which gave them more funding to go and do the Rex drink. So it's been a process, but they've been coming very, very successful. So much so that if you haven't gotten in yet, here is your chance. If you go over to Rec Drinks Twitter, you can go and check out that they're going to have liquid gold is coming. So get ready to sip greatness. It's launching tomorrow, Wednesday, July 30th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And so all the details are in their tweet if you go check out Rec Drinks. But basically, all you have to do is sign up for a Binance US account, which Keegan has already done. I need to do that today. And then you'll be guaranteed some tokens. Is that right, Keegan? Give me a little bit more information on that.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be able to purchase, if you're in the United States, it's only for United States people, 9 a.m. tomorrow. And by purchasing the case of REC, then you'll be able to claim Drank points, which then convert into REC tokens. And so REC tokens, the brand coins, are on Ethereum. And so yeah, I'm all about this. I'm 100% in on this. And I think this is like really unique and special. I think they're doing something pretty amazing. The market cap for their current token, REC token, is 399 million. It almost hit 500 million the other day. So it went up to like 475 million. They had 15 days of all-time highs. And so it got broke finally, I think yesterday or the day before. And so every time I would check my tokens, it was just going up and up and up and up in value. And I think that they're still underrated. I think people are not really paying attention. And I think like a variable in that equation is that because you do have to KYC in order to do this Binance USA thing. So that's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. And as well as like the original people that were able to get equity in the company, I believe you had to KYC as well. And so I know that's not everybody's kind of like forte, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you want to be a part of it, this is the barrier to entry. And so for me, my name and fingerprints with the state as a teacher doesn't bother me. But I feel like this is something really cool. And so I'm going to try and get a couple cases. I hope they don't sell out. So please, everybody, try and save a few for me and Valerie. And yeah, definitely was thinking about some content, maybe like going down to the beach here, pulling the wagon, having them in the cooler, printing out one of those wrecked guy kind of like poster boards, like we have like the Pengu right there. And so I was thinking of like printing the wrecked guy out, asking the questions to like, we could do a live stream and then like, hey, what do you want to try this? It's like non-alcoholic, non-energy, get their thoughts live right there.
Yeah.
Stream on Abstract. I don't know, stream everywhere, like you know, maybe make some content. And so, yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a really strong community, really, really grounded in some unique principles where they're giving back, and definitely something to watch and pay attention to, especially over these weeks, especially over these months. I think it's going to be a big deal.
I like it. I like it. Keegan, I'm cutting you off because you told me I have to get through all this fast. So I'm cutting you off because if that's not enough conviction, we've got a tweet again from OSF saying, if you bought Jupiter Exchange Time Rect coins, okay, so this was a launch that happened either a few weeks ago or even like a month ago by now. So yeah, he says last month, you're currently sitting on an 8x. 8x. Okay, that's insane for a token. And then lastly, here's a tweet from FOD saying those who purchased 4 cans of Rect for $10 at 7-Eleven store and claimed the free Rect token, which 327.5 million on Abstract Chain, is now worth $375. $10 spent on Rect drinks IRL, giving a 37.5x return. Huge. This is how Rect onboarding is onboarding early users. So if that's not enough numbers and data mathematics for you there, I don't know what is, but not financial advice, just saying Rect token, Rect guy, the NFT, the tokens, all of it, something to look into. And we're going to keep talking about it. Okay. Just saying, I also hold Rect. Disclosure there. All right. Let's see what else is in the news. Let me. Whoa! It opened up something else for me. Okay, here we go. All right, we got the base layer. Okay, so last week, you guys remember Keegan and I went up to LA when we went up to the Base after party because Base was taking their Coinbase wallet and rebranding into the Base, what are they calling it? The Base app. They're calling it the Base app, which they have been marketing is going to be the all and everything app where you go and you can go spend your tokens, you can go shop, and then also too, you have your creators where you can go and tip them for any post or content that they do. And we've been following some of the news here on how that's going. And there's been some criticism that I think we need to share because we've got someone here, Brooke, who is known to be in tech, and she's been in crypto for over 10 years. So she's kind of someone who's credible and reliable here. And so she's been testing the Base app. And she says, update, just to be clear, I have no paid partnership with Base app. So here's my honest take. Yes, I made $65 yesterday from posting my video, but I didn't get paid like a creator. I cashed out the token. So let's read more into it here. Let me blow it up so I can actually read it. But she says, at its peak, my wallet balance was around $185, but people started dumping, and I was only able to grab $65 before the pool drained. So how is that supporting me? They weren't tipping me. They were flipping a coin with my name on it. I realized I got micropayments from transaction fees, but it was minimal. And I had to dump on them to get paid. Also, unless I'm totally misunderstanding this, every new post mints a new coin, which means if I want to earn again, I have to do the same thing again. Dump that coin, then the next one, then the next. So I'm sitting here wondering, am I launching a new micro shitcoin every time I post? Am I supposed to manage each of those little markets? Because that doesn't sound like creator monetization. That sounds like a stress-inducing token treadmill. Jesse Pollack, is that how this is meant to work? So she had very, very fair concerns, and the team did respond to her. We had Aneri saying, totally hear you, Brooke, and thank you for your honest feedback. To clarify, when posts are coined, creators earn in two ways. One, creator earnings from trading. Every time your coin is bought or sold, you earn a fee, paid in WETH, soon USDC. It goes straight to your wallet. Two, your supply. When you create a coin, you get 1% of its supply. If people keep buying, that share, that share grows in value. You can hold it, send it, or sell it when it makes sense for you. So she responded. So did Jesse from Base. They responded pretty good on it. So I recommend go checking it out. There's a couple of debates happening. There is someone else called Luke Weaver who just says, it doesn't matter what Jesse says. He says, I'm sorry, but this is wrong and borderline dishonest. The best way to capitalize in the creator coin economy is to dump on your collectors' heads over and over. You want to normalize that? Fine. But there's no way that not selling is the optimal strategy to make money. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Is Base creating like this economy where it's actually like trying to normalize dumping on your followers? Or do you actually think that maybe we need to shift the way we think about coins, and maybe this is a new pathway for creators to monetize? You tell me, but we'll keep looking at the news and seeing what's happening as it develops, because people are still testing this. And then lastly, on some more positive news, I wanted to highlight Winnie because she did some really awesome nails, a collaboration with Base and Chipped Nails. So just wanted to say that, because if you're not a fan of what's going on with their new rebrand, maybe you're a fan of the chips, because there's nothing wrong with supporting your girl, Winnie. So it's not all bad with Base right now. Keegan, any thoughts? I'm going to move on. Are you still there?
No major thoughts. Yep.
No major thoughts.
Base is making moves, whether you like them or not. They're going to be a presence, and I feel like they're going to continue to innovate and refine things. I don't think it's perfect yet. I don't even have an invite to this Base app, so I can't even fully speak on it. So if there's anybody out there listening from the Base community or somebody that has the connection, I would like an invite so I could have some hands-on time and give some 2 cents to the actual situation here. So.
Okay, you heard it from Keegan. All right, this slide is going to take a little bit longer to load because there's a lot on it. We've got 3 layers of quick, we're at 3 headlines, but because we're quick, we're just going to look at them. So this is in from Watch Guru. Jack Dorsey squared to allow merchants to accept Bitcoin starting today. So if you are a merchant seller, you are selling products, you are selling goods, go get the Square app because you can now accept Bitcoin. That is fantastic news in my opinion. All right, and then we got next up is Bad, which previously you may have known them as the Crypto Goons, but in a couple of days, what's today? Today is Tuesday, so on Thursday they have what they're calling the Gallery Opens at noon EST. They're doing a gamified art collaboration with D's exclusively on OpenSea, minting on ApeChain. So I think this is going to be a good one on ApeChain. I've seen a lot of people excited and hyped for it. They put out a little teaser, a little trailer. You can go check that out at BadWTF. Next up in news, we've got Drew Sif, who is the founder, one of the co-founders of Bad, and he says the tech that we are rolling out with the physicals from our next drop will allow you to start getting your friends into NFTs without them thinking you're a virgin, loser, nerd, something I battle with daily. This is how we truly bring about mass adoption. So I'm excited because I just found out that they're going to be at Rare Evo with an activation. And I'm really curious to know what kind of tech he's talking about, because if it's getting it right now, we know it's getting easier for people to be onboarded into crypto through different apps and, you know, card payment systems and all that. I'm really curious how he might be helping to innovate on the NFT side to make it easier for the regular everyday person. So I'm excited for that. I wanted to share that. Next up in Web3 quick headlines is M Squared. So M Squared, you may know them as the metaverse gaming company that has been building things for the other side. Well, guess what? They are calling the Sandbox game community. Hello, that's me and Keegan. We're part of the Sandbox community. You can now take your avatars beyond the sandbox and into the open metaverse. We've open sourced a converter that wraps them in MML so they can be used across any world that supports it. So I think that's fantastic because Keegan and I have not really benefited from our land or from any avatars. There's really not much you can do over on Sandbox. So I love that they're trying to help them and bring over the avatars. So now you can go play them in anything that M Squared has been building out. So love that. I love that's what we're doing. And then not lastly, but next in the quick headlines is probably you guys saw, but you know, the band member from Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away, which is crazy. He just did his last show with Black Sabbath just a few weeks before he passed. But people went ahead and decided that it was pop culture. He needed to make a piece of art on it, and he made it into an NFT and a physical. I don't know. I don't get the Joe Biden reference. He has the Darth Vader there, but I don't know. That's something that he cemented as an NFT. And speaking on NFTs, if you've been an OG in the NFT space, you know that Ozzy Osbourne himself did an NFT project called the CryptoBats. And so the CryptoBats NFT market was popping off when news got around that he passed away. And the floor was just like a few dollars, and then it went all the way up to 0.17 ETH, which is a few $100s. So congrats to anybody who had been playing the flip game. And then, of course, congrats to anybody who's just a collector and wants to like commemorate that and honor his memory by collecting some CryptoBats. And so I was able to get one, and I made a little bit of profit. I'll share that. And then next up, oh, by the way, did you also know that Ozzy Osbourne was a Bored Ape holder? So he has a Bored Ape in his wallet. So I'm really curious, did he, you know, have someone in his will to take over his wallet? I don't know, but that's his Bored Ape right here. So then next up in the Web3 quick headlines is that BlackRock buys 113,322.43 ETH worth of $426 million. So we just keep sharing every episode. BlackRock, big institutions keep buying up Ethereum. So if you're priced out of Bitcoin, maybe look at Ethereum. Something else in the Web3 news is we had talked about M2, but if you didn't know, M2 is also part of Somnia, and Somnia has been doing great. They have not launched their L1 just yet. It's still in test phase, but they have partnered with Google Cloud, redefining what's possible for game developers with AI. So you can read more about it through Google Cloud, but they're integrating their infrastructure, AI agent development platform, and frameworks and security features with Somnia's entertainment-driven blockchain. So there's a whole paper on it. You can go read it. Sounds pretty interesting to me. And then coming out, I think it was today, if I'm not mistaken, but Cleanosaurus has hired someone new. So they announced that David Horvath has joined Cleanosaurus as brand manager and consumer product growth Asia. So you guys may be familiar with that name because he is the co-founder of Ugly Doll, which is one of the most commercially successful designer toy brands in the world, earning global acclaim and fandom through the years. So he's a leader in the IP scaling. He's done things with Ugly Doll, Nickelodeon, Junior's Bossy Bear, Sony's Overchain, and NHK Japan's Little Boney. So there you go. Congrats. He's done things with Hash Bros, Coca-Cola, you name it. But I think that's going to be great. In case you didn't know, one of the co-founders of Cleanosaurus, Clay, was actually at Comic-Con. I was hoping to get to meet him, but we did not get to meet. But I hope he was successful out there, maybe taking some meetings, seeing what's new, what he can do with the Cleanosaurus. I know they are super, super popular on Instagram and TikTok. So let me check in with Keegan. How are we doing with time? It is now an hour and 38 minutes over. It's 5:04 p.m. What do you think? I'm only in layer 2. We got 3 more layers of these quick headlines.
I might have to hop off but I don't know. I don't think I can start my X Spaces until this live stream finishes because it's on my account too. So I don't know if maybe you want to skip over one of these slides, but okay. I already delayed the spaces a little bit. So if anybody's worried or concerned, even though there's a gold star for tonight, yeah, if you want to kind of jam through one or two.
Okay, so let's just look over here. We've got poly market betting. So whoever bet on Jeffrey Epstein's attorney, Roy Black, has died. So some people made money on that. I did not know that was a thing. I know they're betting on some other things. Maybe go check it out if that's your thing. Azuki has launched a new collection doing mini videos. So if you're into anime and you're into like short content like that, you can go mint. I think that's really cool because if they ever blow up to something bigger, like kind of like Ghibli Studios or, what is it called? Dragon Ball Z. Imagine owning like some of the early first clips of those cartoons. So I think that's kind of the idea behind what Azuki's doing. And you can go mint it on OpenSea. And then CryptoPunks. There's been this speculation that CryptoPunks will outperform ETH this cycle in dollar terms because ETH bag holders will flex in NFTs. It's an internet status game. The whole world economy outside of food and energy production is a giant status game. Why would the internet society be any different? And honestly, I have to agree with him because I did the same. As I was getting more money in ETH, I took out some and went and bought some NFTs. And I told you guys I went and bought a crypto bat. So I think other people are doing the same. They may buy some of the larger collections like Punks because Punks now has a floor of 50 ETH. Okay. So that's pretty incredible. And of course, here we go. Let's share this headline here. GQ Holdings, GameSquare Holdings has acquired the iconic cowboy number 5577 CryptoPunk from DeFi pioneer R. Lesnar in a $5.15 million strategic investment. We also added 10 million of ETH in our treasury, bringing total Ethereum treasury holdings to over $52 million. So yeah, I think NFTs are kind of a status symbol, like not only just holding the crypto, but any NFTs, and I won't say any, but certain NFTs on the Ethereum may be a status symbol. And then these 3 tweets are just basically highlighting that some of the people from Doodles has left. There were 2 co-founders out of the 3. Burnt Toast is one of the only remaining founders, and of course the artists over at Doodles. And then also besides that, Ted, you may know them as not Ted Lasso over on Farcaster, but she was huge over on Farcaster. She also left Farcaster. So I don't know if these were by personal choice or is this, some layoffs. It's hard to tell. They're not really coming out with it, but times get tough. And speaking of times getting tough, Pixel Vault, which I know Keegan was a NFT holder of, after 4 years of building, they're now starting to look for people who are interested in acquiring them. And so they are planning to sell Pixel Vault, and possibly starting next week, we will see who. So I'm so sorry for all of the holders that were really believing in it. Maybe whoever acquires them can go and do something. Keegan, I'll let you comment on that if you want on any of that for Pixel Vault, since I know you're a holder.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing, to be honest. Like, we've gotten to know some of the community people from the team. Like, they're really nice and cool. We're still, good friends when we see them at the events and stuff. But it's just, yeah. It's, I think that like over time, over these past few years now, we're starting to see like projects that either peaked too fast and didn't have enough game planning and strategy, or maybe enough next steps, because I'm sure there was some revenue at different times, but then it's like, well, how do you balance the budgeting the best way? And the space is so unique and dynamic, on top of being a startup, really is what a lot of these projects were. That then there was a lot of not enough clarity when it came to regulation, at least in the United States. So that was another X variable for any projects that were here. So yeah, just kind of frustrating, to see this happen. Yeah, I am holding a few things that were not exactly cheap. So not happy about that. But in the end, like that's part of the game here. Like we're here in a new tech sector, relatively speaking, and so these things happen. And so that's why, like, I'm trying to lean into projects where I see founders and leaders and things that make sense and connect dots, and some real good flywheels that, I think longer term, bigger picture, wider net, will provide value in different ways for both avenues, not only community, but also the project and also outreach. And it has to feel right. So, yeah.
100%. Well, I hope you get what you need out of the project since you're still holding. And yeah, shout out to all of the other holders. I'm sure the community is coming together and figuring out what they can do. But speaking of communities, there is a community member in the Bored Ape ecosystem who has their own company called Command Line, and they go and build gaming experiences. They've done experiences out in Fortnite, but now they're doing stuff for Improbable and Yuga. And so Yuga has partnered with them to bring a new game over on the metaverse called the Bathroom Blitz. And so I was actually able to go and be one of the early play testers. I had some issues that I couldn't actually go and play the game, but I was able to go in the lobby and kind of see the graphics, what it looks like, what it feels like, and it's really, really great. That's what this first tweet is. So if you want to go over to my profile and scroll down a little bit, you can kind of fast forward in the live stream and see what that looks like. But the graphics look really great. It looks insane, and I'm not just saying that. Like, it actually looked really good. And then if you want to go and play and you're a content creator, there is going to be a prize pool, a $5,000 prize pool. They're going to choose 16 content creators to go 8 versus 8. And it's sponsored by Arbitrum and ApeChain. So if you want to go apply, go follow Spiked Collects at Spikes Collects, and you can just, all you have to do is just make a comment and saying that you're interested, and that's how you apply. And then Figgy was just out on Twitter. I guess there was some, hate saying like, oh, that it's supposed to be the other side, and the ODK is supposed to be open to all community members. You guys are just working with people who already work for Yuga. And Figgy made sure to get on the timeline and say, nah, you guys got it wrong. These are not people who work for Yuga. This is actually part of the community, members from the community who have gone and we've partnered with. And so he's just saying that there's going to be many more to come. So definitely, if you're a creator and you want to do some really cool experiences with Yuga in the metaverse, then I would reach out to them, because it sounds like they're going to be partnering with many, many more community members. And then we've got the mainstream layer. Just talking about, of course, you guys know Tesla had launched its diner out in Hollywood. If you go and read this
Tesla
NBC
has
article,
officially opened its long-awaited.
This NBC article, if you actually open it up, I was looking through it, and the Doge car is in there, the Doge Cybertruck, that which we know is always at all of the conferences, especially at East Denver. So I thought that was really cool because there was a picture of it in the article. So shout out. I think they're doing some really, really great stuff, and it's very high tech. It looks cool. And then Elon made this tweet that I thought was interesting. He's saying we're bringing back Vine, but in AI form. Not really sure what he means by that, because Vine was similar to TikTok, where content creators were putting out videos. They were going viral. It was a lot of comedy, a lot of skits. But he's saying they're doing it in AI form. So, I'll keep a lookout at that. And then, of course, maybe you guys saw this, maybe you didn't, but we know that last week there was a whole debacle with Coldplay accidentally finding out there was an affair happening in the crowd between the CEO of Astronomer and the head of HR. And so everyone was wondering, well, how the heck is the company Astronomer gonna come back from their CEO and HR having an affair and Coldplay finding it out? Well, guess what? They did something amazing. They decided to hire Gwyneth Paltrow, who is the ex-wife of the band member from Coldplay. And basically, she went on camera and said, "Hi, I'm temporarily hired. And let me tell you a little bit about Astronomer." So it was a great bounce back from Astronomer company. And that was a flex, to be honest. Whoever's the head of marketing, hats off to you, because you bounce back easily from that one, which many don't do. They could have just easily put out like a generic, very corporate PR tweet, but no, they leaned into it. They leaned into the memes. So it was awesome. And then lastly, as we're wrapping up our show here, we've got a few upcoming events. We've got the ETH Global. It is going to be the 10th anniversary for Ethereum, and that is tomorrow. And there is going to be parties all around the world. So I really urge you to go to ETH Global to see if there's one in your city. And the closest one to me here in San Diego is actually in San Francisco. You do have to go apply to get accepted. And guess what? I got accepted. So I may fly out tomorrow for the day. We'll see. But if that's something you want to go to, go check it out. And then this weekend is FWB Fest, which is a festival partnering with Base to give you more of a Coachella kind of vibe, where there's going to be music, there's going to be art, but there's also going to be speakers and panels talking about the tech. And then if you can't go to that, the following week, in 2 weeks from now, is Rare Evo. You can use code REDRUG for 10% off your tickets. Keegan and I will be there. We are partnering with the conference to do live streaming and content. So really excited for that. And then in October, we have Ape Fest. You do have to be an Ape holder to go, but you can go and check out their mutant collection. You can go, or you can show up as a +1. But yeah, there's going to be a poker tournament, and there's going to be an official Ape Fest after party called Apes After Dark at the Ape Hotel, and it's going to be from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So that was giving me a little bit of my lady rave PTSD, because they go crazy and they go all night, but I'm excited for it. I think the community over at Bored Apes is fun, so I'm excited to see all of you guys. And then, of course, thank you to our sponsors. Of course, Keegan with 10KTF Teaching Tuesdays, Ground Game Strong, and shout out to my company, Red Rug Edutainment. Experience the fun of Web3 either at my RL events or through media and live stream like this. And I think that's it. That's it for us today. I'm so sorry, Keegan. We went over time, but I want to see if you have any closing thoughts before I shut today down.
There's a lot of stuff, and you know, I think that oh, looks like we may have lost you. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to shut it down or whatnot, but it sounds like yeah, your camera went out. So yeah, it was a good show. I think you covered a lot of ground. There was a lot of different topics, a lot of different avenues, you know, from in real life stuff to just a lot of things happening. And I think that, you know, as we wrap summer here, it starts to kind of close down. You know, I think going into the fall, we'll see a lot of like really new and unique things coming from different companies, different platforms, different projects. I definitely think that they have a lot of stuff they still have some ammo that they're going to put out there for what they're going to bring. Whether that's Pudgy Penguins, whether that's Erect, I feel like Ape Chain and Other Side they have some cool stuff happening. And yeah, Bathroom Blitz I know is supposed to be happening, I believe tomorrow. I think Wednesday it's going to go live, I read. And so I have the tweet. I'll share that on my show. Let's see if Valerie's going to rejoin here. Let's see. I don't know if her feed, what happened, if she's going to be able to jump back in or not. But either way, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, the physicals, the digitals, whether it's the pins from Pudgy Penguin, the comics from V Friends, you know, like there's just so many things happening here, like from base app to all the mini apps that they have. And yeah, I guess well, I don't know if I can play if I can share it. Let me see if I can share the last scene. If it's there. I don't know if I have access to that. You'll close the show. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it, guys. And Valerie's saying that she's going to close it out and wrap it out. So appreciate everybody. Check out my show. I'm going to start it up here in a few minutes. 10 KTF Teaching Tuesdays. Ground Game Strong. Show up, be present, make an impact. And yeah, hope you have a good rest of your week. Subscribe to Layers with V Dizzle.